Hey guys, my name is Kyle Long. I'm an ultra runner with Path Projects and a sports performance coach. I specialize in building strength programs for runners. Today we're going to go through a little prehab and activation session. This is something you're going to want to do on your day off from running, where you want to facilitate some recovery, but also maybe get some work done on some stuff that you might miss during your normal training routine. You're just going to need a set of bands and a little bit of space. So we're going to start basically from the ground up. And to begin with, we're going to go for some lateral band walks and also some forward monster walks. So the goal here is to really activate the hips, get the glutes fired up, and also build some stability through the knees. We're gonna go 3 rounds back and forth laterally and also forward and back. And we're just gonna work with whatever kind of space we have to operate within here. So we wanna build a little bit of tension on the band, nice athletic stance, and we're just gonna drive out. So I'm gonna take 3 or 4 steps in each direction, inch and back. We're gonna go through 3 full rounds here. Again, we wanna keep tension on the band all the way through, toes forward. You should feel those hips, glutes starting to light up a little bit. After I get through this 3rd round here, I'm gonna switch gears and then I'm gonna start coming forward and back. So we still wanna keep that tension on the band. We wanna step forward and out ever so slightly. So I like to imagine like I'm stepping on really narrow railroad tracks, both forward and reverse. So I'm gonna run through this 3 times as well. Make sure we get some really good engagement through the hips, through the glutes, and also build some stability around those knees. We'll go 1 more time through this. And then stepping back here to finish up this round. Next, we're gonna go through 2 movements. First is gonna be a single leg hinge. We're gonna focus on some hamstring and glute recruitment and also a little ankle stability. So what we're gonna look for here is a single leg RDL with a little bit of a knee drive. So I'm gonna plant my left foot. I'm going to hinge towards my big toe, and then I'm gonna stand nice and tall. I'm gonna knock out 8 reps on each side here. So slow and controlled, drive up. We wanna try to maintain that point of balance through that plant foot. If we need to tap the foot down at any point for a little bit of balance, you're welcome to it. We wanna hold the breath on the way down. Exhale as we stand tall. We're gonna go 3 more here, and then we're gonna switch legs. Nice powerful breath out. As you get more comfortable with this, that knee drive can be a little more aggressive. And then we're gonna switch sides here. Same thing on the other side. Plant that right foot, left hand hinges down towards the big toe, and a strong drive up. You'll probably notice there's gonna be a little bit of a balance discrepancy here, left to right, that's normal. It's one of the reasons that we break this down into that single leg movement, is to address some of those imbalances through the ankles, the knees, and the hips. So as I feel things connect, I'm gonna start driving that knee up a little bit harder. We're gonna go last 3. Tap the foot down for a little bit of balance. Another good drive, last 1. And from there, we're gonna grab a wall. So I'm gonna use the rig here. We could also have a wall, really any stable surface here. We're gonna do a tib raise. So tib raise is gonna address a lot of the common issues in the knees, shin splints, and some weakness in that ankle. So what we're looking for here is a nice lean into the wall. Now all I'm gonna do is simply raise my toes up off the floor and lower. We're gonna go 15 here, nice and tall, really squeezing. We're gonna feel this activate through that whole front aspect of that leg. So we're gonna feel that tibialis turn on and relax. We really wanna try to increase that range of motion as we go through here. Nothing else moves, nice and relaxed. I'm gonna go 6 more here, and then we're gonna go back into that single leg RDL here. Again, this is one of the most common in exercises to address shin splints. So if you run into those a lot, great one to throw into your routine. Go 2 more. And then we're gonna relax down. So we're gonna go back through that single leg RDL. I'm gonna change the angle up a little bit so we can see kind of what this looks like from a different angle here. So planting that left leg, things feel a little more connected here. I'm gonna drive up, picking up the pace just a little bit now that things feel a little more connected. I feel those ankles working, focusing on that point of balance. Let's go 4 more. Really aiming for that big toe as we come down, giving yourself a point of balance here. Last 1. And we're gonna switch sides. So again, another angle here from this opposite side. Right foot plants, left hand comes down towards that big toe, and strong drive up. So for me, this is my weak side. My ankle is doing a lot more work here, more focused on keeping that balance all the way through. Holding that breath, exhaling as we stand tall. We'll go 3 more here, and then we'll finish with 1 more set of tib raises. Last one. And I'm back on the wall here. So things we can change here would be the angle of that lean. So I'm gonna take a little more aggressive angle here. I'm really gonna drive up strong on those heels and right back down. So round 2, I'm gonna start feeling this light up a little bit more. We're gonna go another set of 15 here. Letting the breathing really relax here. Typically best to do this barefoot so we can get the nice full range of motion. We don't have a heel cup on a shoe, kind of compressing into the floor and messing with that range of motion. We're gonna go 6 more here. 3, 4, last 2. And then we're gonna relax. We could roll through that another time or 2, kind of depending on the time you have, but 2 to 3 sets minimum will put you in a pretty good spot for that. All right, coming up next, we're gonna go through some banded clamshells. So really deep work into that hip and the glute. So what we're looking for here is pretty light band. We want it right around the top of the knees. We're gonna make sure that elbow is dug right underneath the shoulder to give ourselves a good stack position. From here, we're going to raise that hip nice and high, and we're gonna maintain that position. While we're here, we're then going to open and close that hip. We're gonna go 10 on each side. So we're gonna feel this light up really deep into that glute. What we wanna focus on here is making sure that this hip does not drop as the set progresses here. So oftentimes you'll see people start to sag. We wanna stay really high and engaged, making sure we're tight through that shoulder capsule. We're gonna go 2 more, and then we're simply going to flip sides. 1 and 2. So quick little scoot around here. Same thing on the other side. So we're gonna get that set up nice and tight here. Elbow planted under that shoulder, knees start together, hip comes high. And again, we're gonna open nice and smooth here. We're gonna feel, again, probably some discrepancies left to right. My left side is much stronger than my right. So this side is gonna feel a lot easier than that other side. Pretty normal, and the more you go through these sessions, the more you're gonna feel that balance out over time, which is the ultimate goal here. Stop us from getting hurt and having some weird imbalances. So over long miles, we don't develop any long-term chronic issues here. We're gonna go 2 more, 1 and 2. From here, we are going to stay on the ground. We're gonna take the band off here, and we're gonna go into a dead bug. So a lot of different progressions we can go through this. We're gonna start with pretty much the most basic here. So we're stacked up, knees at 90 degrees, hands are straight up towards the ceiling. What I wanna think about here is bracing my stomach into the floor so there's no space between my low back and the floor all the way through this. I'm going to take my left arm and my right leg, and I'm going to extend opposites. I'm gonna go 8 on each side here. Biggest thing we wanna see is that we maintain that tension through that low back into the floor. A nice visual I like to have is, could I press my belly button down through the floor as I'm going through this? So I'm nice and tight. Nothing else is moving as I'm extending that arm and that leg. Only the working side are extending out. Everything else is stuck in concrete here, not moving. We're gonna go 2 more on each side before we return to those banded clamshells here. 1 more on each, keeping that back pressed in flat, nice and tight through the hips, and then we're there. So from there, we're gonna pop back up. We're gonna go through 1 more round here. So again, I'm gonna wiggle this band on, up over the knees, give myself some room to work here. I'm gonna get that elbow dug right underneath that shoulder again. Hips come high first, open and close. We're gonna go 10, nice and steady here. Just like everything else, you can go anywhere between 3 to 5 sets of all of this. It's kind of dependent on your time, what kind of runs you have coming up here. If you have some big miles, stick to the lower side, maybe 3 or 4 sets. If you've got some days off coming up, you could throw a few extra sets in here and get a little bit more work done. We're gonna go 4 more. So this time I can really feel that hip starting to light up. I'm really forcing that hip to stay high Feel my obliques light up a little bit. We're gonna go 2 more, 1 and 2. So we're gonna wiggle around now, hit that second side one last time here. Elbow tucked under, hips come high. Again, this is my strong side, so I'm able to open a little bit smoother here. Nice and under control. We don't want that band just to rebound back. We want to control both the open and the close so we get work done in both directions through that hip here. We're gonna go 4 more. 2, 3, last one, keeping that hip high and down. Finally, we're gonna go through one more round of that dead bug here. So tossing the band off, getting in that nice stacked up position, belly button down, arms nice and tall, and really extending long, seeing if we can get that heel about 1 inch off the ground while letting those arms extend straight back. We wanna try to make sure that we're coming straight vertical, up and down. We wanna try to imagine like we're in a skinny glass hallway as we go through this, so we're not letting the arms or the legs flare out as we go through these dead bugs. We're gonna go 3 more here on each side. 1, keeping that belly button flat, braced into the floor. 2, a little exhale as we get long. Last one here. Finishing on the other side. And we're there. All right, guys, so that's our prehab and activation session. Again, something that's gonna be awesome to do on a day off from training or on a lighter day of training where we just wanna get some stuff done. Again, kind of fill in some spots we missed during our normal routine, but facilitate a lot of recovery. We can run through this stuff anywhere from as low as 2 sets per exercise all the way up to 5, depending on what you have coming up the rest of the week. So give it a go, see how you feel, and get things lit up a little bit.